You can't be surprised by this. But it gets better. Canada's incumbent Liberal Party staged a powerful comeback after riding a wave of anti Trump animosity to victory in the country's federal elections. And even though his support was the kiss of death to Canada's Conservatives, Donald Trump himself apparently couldn't help taking credit. No, the Conservatives did not win. And he's taking credit for it. Yep, we're in the upside down. And even though his support was the kiss of death to Canada's Conservatives, Donald Trump himself apparently couldn't help taking credit. You know, until I came along, remember that the Conservative was leading by 25 points. The Mercurial president admitted and or boasted in an interview with The Atlantic published on Monday. You know, for him to previously say he can't stand The Atlantic and how shitty of a publication it is, he is talking to them a whole lot. But yes, he was bragging that before he came along and started doing what he was doing, that the Conservatives were looking like they were going to win. Like, he's not, the cognitive dissonance is... Let's continue. Then I was disliked by enough of the Canadians that I've thrown the election into a close call, right? I don't even know if it's a close call, he added. Okay. Pollsters projected that the Liberals would be the largest party in Canada's parliament once all the votes were counted, giving veteran central banker and current Prime Minister Mark Carney, 60, not most people's idea of a populist firebrand, another term in office. Liberals won more seats than Pierre Poilievre's Conservative Party, though it wasn't clear until all the votes were counted if the party would win an outright majority among all parties in the election. Only 5 months ago, Conservative leader Poilievre and his party enjoyed a 25-point lead following nearly 10-year Liberal rule. Poilievre himself is a rather Trumpish figure who campaigned hard on crime, dog whistle, and immigration, dog whistle, complained about woke ideology, dog whistle, and embraced the anti-lockdown trucker protests of 2022, racism. And you know, given that we're such close neighbors and there are Trump supporters in Canada, I guess he thought that was the way in, and he's learning about the Trump kiss of death. I wish Trump would learn about the Trump kiss of death. One conservative strategist speaking to the Financial Times described Poilievre's philosophy as take no prisoners, cede no ground, forcibly argue every position, do not take a step back. Basically, get on the ground and act like a fucking toddler. But that was before Donald Trump slapped massive tariffs on Canada and began demanding it become the 51st state of the U.S., catalyzing a new wave of anti-American sentiment reminiscent of the War of 1812. Anti-Trump sentiment. I've talked to plenty of Canadians. They don't have a problem with us per se. They got a problem with Trump and the GOP and MAGA. Yeah. Trump was still banging that drum when he spoke to The Atlantic. I say it would make a great 51st state. I love other nations. I love Canada, he said. You know, they do 95% of their business with us. Remember, if they're a state, there's no tariffs. Remember, if they remove, like they've been doing, the 95% of business that they do with us, that's a big chunk of our economy we no longer have. Plus the tourism income and everything else. And if you love other nations, how are you going to do that if you're trying to be the Tamil version of Genghis Khan? When Atlantic editor Jeffrey Goldberg observed that Canada as a state would probably lean heavily Democratic, Trump said, a lot of people say that, but I'm okay with it if it has to be. His reasoning was that conservatives were doing fine, if not for him, indicating at least some level of support for far-right policies in Canada. Child, the ego and the delusions. J-Lo could never be that deluded, or could she? I don't know. They're neck and neck.